She wanna come with me, I get it. She wanna come feel me, I get it. Diamonds dancing, she want it, I get it.
Alright, what's going on everybody, Wraith here. And shocker, we're here for another Twixtor tutorial. I think this is my fourth, but they've all been a year apart, so I don't really think it matters too much. And I'm gonna try to get through this pretty quick. So obviously, first things first, you're gonna need your clip. So for this one, I'm just gonna have this little solo leveling clip. It's just a super basic clip of him backing up here. Let me zoom in so it doesn't do that. As you can see, it's kind of fluid, kind of not. There's a lot of dead frames, and I'm about to teach you how to get rid of those. So the way I like to get rid of dead frames, which if you know what a dead frame is, it's a frame where pretty much nothing moves, or just like there's no big movements, there's no keyframes. So what you're gonna do is every single time you see, for this example, Jinwoo move, you're gonna cut. So right there was a big hammer movement, and then you see I go 2, cut, and then 3, cut. So if you notice, every single time his body moves, I'm cutting. And I'm not gonna lie, depending on your clip, this can get extremely tedious. So I understand if like a lot of people don't like doing it this way, but if you want like super smooth Twixtor and you don't want any like things where it's not really moving and it's kind of stiff, then you're gonna have to cut out the dead frames, like in pretty much almost every media, except if you're using a really high FPS clip. Okay, so now that you've cut all your clips, you're gonna highlight all of these. You're gonna drag this back so that they're all one keyframe. You're gonna go to keyframe assistance and then sequence the layers. And already, if you look at it, it's going to be a lot smoother than before. And once you've done that, there's a little sauce here that I'm going to leave in the description. This is pretty much like, if you know flow frames, this is pretty much flow frames inside of After Effects. It can also upscale your clip for you, and it's just a very useful tool. So for me, I use Interpolate, and I put it on 8 because I think 16 is a little OD and I think it looks weird. And then all you need to do is just hit start. And now that it's finished interpolating, you can see that it's super long, like way longer than before. So like right here, it was not even a second long, and now it's 2 whole seconds. So now what you're going to do is you're going to want to double click right here until it looks like this, and then you're going to just simply pre-comp it. And now for the meat and potatoes of this, we're just going to do Twixtor. So I like to use Twixtor Pro most of the time, and if you have a decent PC, I always recommend using used GPU. It offloads a lot of the rendering power onto your GPU, which just makes things run way faster. So what you're going to do is you're going to come here, you're going to hit in FPS and in out FPS. I like to just change it to like 30 FPS or 23.976, one of those two. Then you're going to want to hit contrast / edge enhance. You're going to go to frame interp, you're going to hit motion weighted blend and inverse or smart blend. If you want, you can click this and lower it to 50. It'll slow it down even more, but we already have it interpolated, so I don't really see a point in that. But just for the sake of this, I'll do it. And if you are doing this method, then all you do is just you go out to where it stops moving and then you cut it. And now for probably one of the harder things is just going to be remap. So for this, we're just going to say that's a 1-minute clip that you want to do, right? Since I obviously don't have an audio, I can't sync it. But what we're going to do is hit Control-Alt-T. It'll bring up time remap. You're going to select this last keyframe and you're going to drag it all the way over to your marker. You're going to cut off this little end piece, and now you're going to hover these, you're going to select them, and you're going to hit F9. That's going to easy ease them. You can also right click it if you don't have F9 for whatever reason. And then all you're going to do is just highlight this. And the way I like to do my Twixtor is pretty straightforward. There's other methods, like there's 3-point methods and stuff where you use 3 different keyframes, but I just like to use 2. And I like to raise this and kind of move it somewhere about here, and then I also lower this. And honestly, you just keep playing with it until you like how it looks. So like right now, I don't really like how it looks, so I'm just going to keep messing with it until I do. So after messing around with it a little bit, it could definitely be better just from like what I'm doing here. But I kind of got it to exactly where I wanted it to be, and it looks like this. And as you can see, I think it looks pretty smooth. I definitely could have probably picked a better clip, or I definitely probably could have twixed it a little bit different. I could have done a whole bunch of different things. But just for a beginner basic thing, I think this looks pretty good. And you just want to pre-comp it if you want. And then you can always just add RSMB. Ignore that this says Valorant RSMB. I do a lot of editing, but it's pretty much my all-purpose RSMB. So looking something like this. Now, obviously, I rushed most of this for the tutorial. I think when you really take your time, you can get something really cool. I'll plug an edit that I did that I think showcases a lot better. But let me know what you think of this tutorial. If you liked it, leave a like. If you didn't like it, then don't do anything, please. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.